a great time today. We're amongst about 50 plus acres of prairie land restoration, but we're talking Wisconsin potatoes.
Wisconsin potatoes.
You figure it out. Come along with us.
Come on, don't be shy.
Pit Boss Grills presents Mad Dog and Merrill Midwest Grillin'. Brought to you by Pit Boss Grills, Griddles and Accessories, Louisiana Grills and Smokers, Healthy Homegrown Wisconsin Potatoes, Sundrop Soda, Shooting Star Casinos, Ebert Grown, Rebex Cutlery, Awesome Shrimp and Seafood, the Wisconsin Agriculture Tourism Association, and by Lashbro Visual Communications.
Hey, welcome back to Mad Dog and Merrill's Midwest Grillin'.
I'll tell you what, we're going to have a great time here today. We are amongst beauty here.
Oh, we are.
And I'm not talking about Seth Olson. I'm talking 50 plus acres of prairie land restoration.
Beautiful.
And pollinator habitat. And it's good to see. It's good to see not in a concrete platform where we're normally at. It's good to see we're not in a sidewalk where we're at. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
No, that's
to
for
see
sure.
the beauty, isn't it though?
Yeah.
And we are with our good friends at Wisconsin Potato Growers. And we know that Wisconsin potatoes are healthy for you. They're high in iron, they're high in vitamin B6, vitamin C, potassium, fiber. We all know they're gluten-free, they're sodium-free, and they're cholesterol-free, but they're also grown healthy. And we got a good friend, Seth Olson, with us, and Seth is at Olson Farm and Produce.
Right.
And been with the system for a little bit here, but your title is?
I'm a conservation agronomist here.
Oh.
And it sounds heavy, but it's AG as in agriculture.
Yeah.
And you just help out with the land.
Sure.
You make sure that it's healthy grown. You make sure that things are recycled, it's sustainable.
That's right. That's the whole purpose of the Healthy Grown program. We like to say it's good for you and good for the environment.
Exactly right, and that's exactly what Wisconsin potatoes are.
Yeah.
And the growers. I think Olson Produce started this system a few years before the Wisconsin potato growers did in 2002. I think Larry and the gang started it about in the 1996 or so.
Yeah, 96, I believe.
Yeah. And it's a great program, and pretty much all the growers are aboard, and you can look for a certain label.
You can. It's Healthy Grown certified.
Right. It's just look for that in the label. Look for Wisconsin potatoes. Look for Healthy Grown certified. And before we get started, let's do some old-fashioned recipes.
All right.
All right.
And I think old-fashioned, some what do you call them? When they're warming, they're what do you call those type of recipes?
Forming.
They're
Comfort food.
comfort
Thank you.
food.
Big, ding, ding, ding. Winner, ladies and gentlemen.
So we're gonna do some homemade potato soup. I've always wanted to do potato soup, and it seems so difficult, but it's so easy. We're gonna start with some nice little bacon on the griddle, celery and onions, and of course we have the Yukon Golds, nice high in moisture content. They're gonna go great in our little soup, our little potato soup.
All right.
So I'm gonna get a little bit of oil on here.
Yeah,
I
be
think.
a good idea.
So you know, Seth, when I think about the prairies, I think about grasshoppers, crickets, and snakes. and I think about grass that's going to break you, if you go barefoot, going to break you the bottom of your feet.
Yeah.
But there's so much biodiversity.
Yeah, there really
Explain a little bit about biodiversity and that works into what we're talking about as far as rotating the land and sustainability.
is. Sure. So prairies are a really, really diverse community of plants, and there's a lot of grass in them, but it's also a lot of forbs, which are the broadleaf plants that flower and stuff. You can see a lot of them right behind us there. So there's grasses and forbs, and all kinds of bugs, just like he was saying.
Right.
Reptiles and amphibians use the prairies, birds. It's a whole ecosystem, and we get a lot of pollinators here. On a farm, pollinator habitat is one of the big benefits that we're going for with a prairie.
That's great.
But it gives you more than that. It's good for the groundwater. It's good for pollinators. Good for taking carbon out of the atmosphere, putting it into the soil, recharging the groundwater. You name it.
So the land we're on in the 50 plus acres of prairie land with the Olson Produce and a lot of the growers, this will never be turned into potatoes, right?
That's right.
It will not be. This will always remain. And what happened, I think there was about 150 million acres in a several state area here of prairie land years and years and years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened to them? I don't see them that often.
That's right.
Hard thing to see.
There's just little tiny fragments of prairie remaining, and mainly that's because when white settlers came in, we started putting out fires, prairie fires, you know.
Right.
You're probably familiar with how the grasslands would burn, and it was
Sure.
kind of a natural process, and the Native Americans would actually kind of encourage that process, but burning it kept the prairie intact, and it kept trees from coming in and becoming a forest. So now, you know, if a piece of land is left alone and it's not farmed and it's not burned, generally what you get after, you know, decades, of course,
Sure.
is a forest.
And we have a lot of forest lands here.
That's right.
And they used to be prairies.
That's right. And then
basically.
up north, you know, it's the big woods and whatever. That's always been forest. It's
Yeah.
not quite the same as the prairies, but this whole eastern Great Plains area, kind of here in southern Wisconsin through southern Minnesota, Iowa, it was all essentially all prairie before, with these vast meadows and, you know, bison running around and all that.
Sure. Interesting.
The major question Merrill wants to ask is, do you like tuna melts?
I do. I'm a big fan.
Freddie, are you a tuna melt lover?
I have to be. He's got a salmon shirt on. I don't know what that is.
My grandma Hazel used to make tuna melts all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Friend of mine, Rick Himnock, never had one before, you know, in the muffin, and then he put ketchup on top of the tuna melt. But today we're going gluten-free potato paddles.
Oh, man,
Really
that's
good.
a hot item.
Easy to do. You got to oil these spuds first. Then we're going to oil them on a season with a little bit of Grandma Hazel's on
I think
there.
I'll cut you one more. How's that?
All
Should we
right,
do-
that sounds good.
we'll do 9 paddles today.
All right, we can do it. Very simple. We're going to put these on the griddle. You're going to griddle these probably about maybe 3 to 4 minutes, maybe longer. You want them, I like them nice and crispy on there.
So here, just a nice whole baker, cut off one of the ends, and all we're simply going to do is make 3 paddles. I'll make 2 paddles out of this one here.
All right.
I don't think we need too many today. We don't want to overdo it today. We're going to work it easy.
We
We're
are.
going to season them up
Easy
with
day.
Grandma Hazel.
Got that. Sprinkle Grandma Hazel's on there. Roll set, and I'll put those on the griddle. Like Grandma Hazel. Seasoning's very good.
Let's see.
Good on the spuds. Do
Ooh,
both
boy.
sides here.
I'll make you some room. You going to put those on the griddle too?
Yes, sir, I am, sir.
So I'll make you some. So what we're doing is we're making the fast version of potato soup, Seth. And so I'm actually got the onions and the bacon and the celery cooking with the potatoes, and we're just trying to get those so they're just a little bit transparent, just a little bit soft. And now we're going to make the actual broth portion of the potato soup. And these are old-fashioned comfort foods. Mom used to make them all the time too. But you're right.
Yeah.
With the English muffins, they had glutens on them.
Right, exactly.
And a lot of people have to worry about that today.
Oh,
So
especially
everything
nowadays.
you're going to be doing today will be gluten-free, I think.
Right, exactly,
If I
you
know what
bet.
the mayo is and the
Right.
tuna is and everything else.
Healthy. Look how healthy I am.
Doesn't that give you inspiration, folks?
Big inspiration.
So a little bit of thyme, a little bit of rosemary. We're going to pour some nice whole milk in there. I got to save some for our smashers.
Oh.
We're going to do some smashed potatoes to,
right.
to thicken them.
Okay.
So we're actually going to do potatoes to thicken. And then we're going to do some broth. So I'll do some chicken broth in there.
All
So
right.
we have the rosemary, we have the thyme in there. We'll squeeze that baby, we'll get that baby going. And we're going to add a nice little stick of butter in there.
Got her.
And I read recipes and they want ancho chili. So we're using one of the products that we
Ooh.
used before, so that ancho chili powder. And that really sounds good. And I'm gonna do a little bit of smoked paprika in there too.
That'll be good.
And we got the pit boss going. We have the sear station opened up on the pit boss. And I'm gonna cover this baby up. And
All
we're
right.
gonna set and get that heated up. And then we're gonna mix this mixture back in with the soup and thicken it with mashed potatoes.
I like it. That's the way to do it. It's a good thickener.
So when we
Yes.
come back, we're going to talk about unusual plants, unusual things that might be flying around us here today, and about the burns and how they do controlled burns. Mad
Good.
Dog and Merrill's Midwest Grilling. We'll be right back.
Hey, don't go away. Hey, welcome back to Mad Dog and Merrill's Midwest Grilling.
Good old-fashioned time. Good old times, right, Freddie? Is that what that is?
Hey, hey, hey.
Good old-fashioned something or another?
In the good old summertime.
In the
the
good old
good old
summertime,
summertime. Oh,
with
that's
good
it.
old
Dark
comfort
clothes.
food, as
All right.
Seth came up with the proper term for comfort food.
It is comfort food
And,
today.
we're doing some great little meals with our good friends at eatwisconsinpotatoes.com, eatwisconsinpotatoes.com. And when we just opened up that little segment, there were B-rolls in front of your camera, but we got special bees around here, Seth.
That's right. That's right. We have a few pollinators, several different species that are actually kind of rare.
Yeah.
The rarest of them is called the rusty patch bumblebee. It's actually a federally endangered species of bumblebee.
Really?
And it's heavily reliant upon prairies like this, and so when you do ecosystem restoration,
Freddie
you-
wants to play the Rusty Bee ragtime music. That's all I can see in that man's mind.
Practice all day long on the way here.
So we're on Awesome Produce, our Awesome Farm and Produce. They're one of the conceptions. Larry was one of the conceptions of the Wisconsin potato growers. God bless Larry. He's a great guy. Doing well, Larry is?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good. We've had him on our television show a few times.
we have.
They're not. Awesome's not the only one. This is a Wisconsin potato program we're talking about prairies, and there's other growers that do the prairie system.
That's right. We're by no means the only one.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, so there's other ones doing the same thing, restorating the land, making sure that it's healthy, making sure it's sustainable for our kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids along the way. To drive down the road and see all concrete would not be a blessing.
Oh.
No, sir.
No, neither would Merrill's tuna melts without tuna.
Tuna melts, that's right. You got to start out obvious. I got some tuna here. I have some mayo. Got to mix this in there.
Merrill, you use the albacore, the good stuff.
Oh, you better believe it, man. It's
Wow.
good. Love tuna melts.
I know,
really
too, you
do.
know something, Lori does not appreciate melted tuna, nor
Really?
warm tuna, nor anything associated with it. But my mom used to make tuna melts too, and
Oh.
she graduated from Stout University in home economics, so she must have been good at it.
Yeah.
Yes, go stout.
When in doubt, go
Oh.
to stout.
Yeah,
Little
when in doubt,
horseradish
go to
if I
Stout.
had
Yeah,
in
yeah.
That's right.
When in doubt, throw it out.
I think my mom got as far as I did at UW Milwaukee.
I'll bet you farther.
I bet she did too.
Little pecorelli.
Bet she didn't have a good time as I had though.
No, that's for sure.
Okay, Seth. So how many times do we burn?
Well, about once every 3 years, we burn each of our prairies.
Yeah, and how do you burn them? I mean, just go out and light a match? Little gasoline.
No,
Come on.
Little
Yeah.
gasoline to start the coals on the prairie.
Oh,
No,
man.
show us what you got. Show
Oh,
us what you
sure,
got.
sure.
Show us what
He's
you
got
got.
some good
The
stuff
stuff
here.
we burn with, the flame source is a drip torch, kind of like this.
Sure.
We'll light the wick and it'll be constantly burning, and then when you tip it over, it drips fuel past it and it'll drop fire wherever you want it
Oh,
to
and then
be.
it continues to
wow.
grow because of the fuel.
Yes.
How neat is that? So
Yep.
that's a controlled burn.
So
Today would be a beautiful day for a burn. It's nice and calm.
it's calm, and that is important. The wind is something we really care about a lot.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
it's the mindset we have, it's more about controlling the fire than the fire itself.
The wind
of
was
course.
being passed around here by Freddie a little earlier.
Luckily, the wind was blowing that way.
No comment, no comment.
Okay, wait.
Well, I got some celery in here.
Celery, green top
That's
onions,
some-
and
yep,
black
You
olives.
got it. Place those in there. It's working out
And
good.
so what else is there?
Well, this is how we control the fire. This is it's a pump can, it's a
Sure.
backpack. Wear it on your back, and you got this trombone sprayer thing.
So that's not fuel, that's water.
That's water. Yep, I
thing.
could spray Freddie with it right now.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't be a fire hazard.
And I have a feeling this is a dirty old tool to use to slap down a fire if it gets out of control.
Well, it's for turning burgers, actually.
yeah.
No.
Oh!
We gotta get that. We gotta get that, man.
That's pretty cool.
No, we call it a flapper.
Sure,
a
that's
better
what it
name
looks
would
like.
be a smotherer, I
Yep.
guess. You put it down on the flames and just smother them out. And so
Yeah.
you steer the fire with this and with the water.
So you don't do 50 acres at a time, you just do
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Yep. And you burn the brakes around the edge first.
Sure.
And then you can burn bigger
Oh,
pieces.
man.
Yep.
Tuna salad's coming out good.
Boy,
Got
that
a little
looks
bit of our
delicious.
citrus.
And then along with the tuna melts, let's get those babies on.
Yeah.
Little
yeah.
deal.
Let me add a little bit of
These
mustard
potatoes
on it.
the paddles look absolutely delicious. I got to get these. The potatoes are done for the soup because we're expediting things a tad bit early.
One more squirt of Dijon. Will you mix that up, sir? You'll be raring to go.
Sounds good.
Well, you know, I can tune a banjo, I can
Oh, yeah,
tune a
throw it
piano,
out.
but I can't tune a fish.
No. Well, I can't wait for these babies.
So Seth, what's a day around your living at Olsum when it comes to the prairies?
Well, when it comes to the prairies, what we do a lot this time of year is managing invasive species. Pulling
There you
out
go.
Invasive plants. The biggest one that we have is spotted knapweed. It's It's a ubiquitous kind of invasive. So we pull it out, dispose of it, and we collect seed from these plants. It's worth mentioning, we're lucky enough to be right next to a remnant prairie along a railroad track.
Right.
That's been a prairie for hundreds of years.
Gotcha.
And so it has a much higher number of species and everything, and we can draw from that seed bank and bring those seeds into our prairies. And then that way we preserve those species.
What a great concept.
That land is, we manage it, but we don't own the railroad remnant.
Sure.
So it kind of makes it more permanent in a sense, the
Right.
biodiversity. By putting it on an area that we really control, we can preserve it for future generations.
And I understand, and I know this, but you do work with the UW system of researchers,
Yes.
and you also work with botanists, or what, who do you work with?
Well, entomologists in UW Extension and plant pathology experts. That's really important with this Healthy Grown program. You know, we get their advice and their approval for the inputs that we use, and it pertains to the prairies as well. But
Right.
just our entire growing system. You know, it's all approved as maximally, you know, environmentally friendly, basically.
Sure.
By the,
Sure.
by
And do they
UW
come out and
Extension.
give you approval for this? That, okay, you're doing everything right?
Yeah,
They come to the
of-
farm sometimes. They
Yeah.
actually do on-farm research sometimes. But basically, we bring our plans every year to a meeting to get their
Okay.
approval.
That's neat.
Freddie did on-farmed research to out behind the barn.
Is that right?
He keeps making these stories up. You know what I mean?
Oh, Freddie, it's true.
How would you know? You were there.
So I just dumped. We'll be right back. I got to mash some potatoes, and we'll be right back.
Hey, welcome back to Mad Dog and Merrill's Midwest Grilling. The last slice of cheese right on top of that.
Swiss cheese.
Swiss cheese. Put the
Covers
hood
down.
I
I'll
like
tell you
it.
what. So normally with soup, normally with potato soup, I would use a roux to
Yep.
thicken it.
Sure.
I would use heavy cream to
Yes.
thicken it.
But today?
I would use maybe a little flour and milk or broth and thicken it with that,
Sure.
or cornstarch. But today because it's Wisconsin potatoes, we're gonna do mashed potatoes.
I love mashed potatoes, man.
So
That's my favorite.
we cooked up some beautiful baby reds, nice and hot on the grill. We like to leave the skins on them. That was the opinion. Would it have skins mashed up with the soup or not?
Sure.
But why not? You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
Hey.
And so I have butter. We're gonna do sour cream. I got garlic. I got horseradish, a little bit of milk, and I'm gonna mash. But you know what? The best news of the day is we found a replacement for Freddie on the piano. Seth, Freddie, get your butt off that piano bench. You
Come
sit
on, buddy.
down, Freddie, and you
Get
play
him a
play
minute.
something
Yeah,
ragtime
go,
for
go,
us
go.
real fast while I mash up my potatoes.
Yeah,
because-
go to her, man. Great. I love it.
Goodbye, Freddie.
I love it.
Keep going, Seth. We're mashing. Yes, sir.
Man, I'll tell you.
Keep going, Seth.
All right.
You're doing it.
Watch out, Merrill.
All right, I come left. Oh,
Hot.
that's
That's hot. Don't touch his hot
No,
lip.
I won't,
Okay.
I won't.
Great job, Seth.
No, there's
Hey,
no
look at
replacing
that.
Fast Freddy.
Take
Don't
this
you
camera
worry.
and bring it in here. Take this camera and bring it in here. Make yourself useful for once. Our parole officer. So we got the mashed spuds. I've got some gorgeous soup, and all we're gonna stir in
Oh yeah.
the mashers just to thicken that
Wow.
baby up.
The aroma with the herbs.
Oh no, there's the fresh rosemary, the fresh thyme. You can smell so gorgeously. It's just amazing. And I got sour cream, and we have grated cheese to
Jeez.
top each one. Seth, we do appreciate you spending a little time explaining diversity when it comes to the prairies here, the
Diversity.
biodiversity
Yeah.
when it comes to plants, when it comes to the land, when it comes to the amount of that's planted here, and the reasons why. It's to keep and sustain the bumblebees, the bees in general. It's to sustain, to make sure that the land is sustainable and it keeps moving.
That's right. Well, it was a real pleasure. This was fun.
Oh, great. Thanks for having us.
We'll be
That's
right
for
back.
sure.
EatWisconsinPotatoes.com.
I can't wait.
It's going to be good.
You're better than I am, Freddie.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Welcome back to Mad Dog and Merrill's Midwest Grilling.
All right, man, your tuna melts, what's went wrong?
Oh,
45 years, something turned out right with Merrill. Look at those beautiful gluten-free potato tuna melts.
Yep.
And the soup, the potato soup, honest to goodness,
Look at that.
is just gorgeous. And it's got a little bit of the bacon, got a little bit of the celery in there. We'll just spoon that baby up. That gets a little bit of grated cheese over the top and a little dollop of sour cream, and you pass it to your best friend possible. Seth, there you go. Peace, love, and happy grilling, folks. See WisconsinPotatoes.com.
Looking good, man. Looking good.
All right.
Mad Dog and Merrill's Midwest Grillin' is a production of Lashbro Visual Communications.